A very good morning, girls, and welcome back to yet another session of your English class. I hope you understood the first chapter, The Gentleman of the Jungle, clearly, without having any doubts. So, we will just move on with the next chapter. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all, says Aristotle. So, in today's class, we will be looking into the second chapter in your syllabus. So, before that, what is poetry? So, what do you all know about poetry? You studied the poetries from your school days. Yes, you have had the rhymes, you had the poems, you had poetry. But what is poetry really mean? So, here I have your definitions about poetry. Poetry is a collection of words that express an emotion or an idea. So, in every poetry or poem, if you see, there is emotions, there is a lot of emotions, there is a idea that is conveyed. Poems are literary attempts to share personal experience and feelings. So, when you pen down a poem, it will definitely have a personal touch. Okay, though the surface level will not tell you what the personal experience or the personal feeling is about, but it definitely is, or it definitely has a personal touch. Good poems show images which leave the readers the sense of delight, awe, and wonder. So, a good poem always leaves the readers in delight. Okay, you will really be delighted by the end of the poem, as to it will have a personal touch. So these are some random definitions about poetry. But what poetry exactly means? Okay, it is nothing but the poet, whoever is writing it is actually throwing out the powerful emotions that are hidden inside of him or inside of her. So that comes out as poetry. So, what is the purpose of writing the poetry? What is the purpose? To express ideas, feelings, and emotions. The main aim or the purpose of writing a poetry is to express one's ideas, one's feelings, and emotions. So, these are the key elements in all the poetries: the form, the speaker, sound, imagery, and figurative language. So, these are the key elements. You may be confused as to why I am speaking about all this rather than directly going into the poem. So, before you understand any poem, you should definitely know what a poetry is, what are the key elements that a person uses when he is writing a poem. Although poems can take many forms, they do have some elements in common. So, you may have the different kinds of poetries, okay? But all the poetries will have some common elements. What are they? The first one is the figurative language, the use of the figures of speech, simile, metaphor, personification, hyperbole. There are so many other figurative languages. So, all this will be used in the poem in one or the other way. Sound device, the pattern of the sound, the mood of the poem, the rhythm, the rhythmic way, the you may have these uh, you may have the rhyming words that end in a certain line. The poet will have his own style of writing. So all these are some of the common elements that every poem or poetry will have. Next, so today in today's class we will be looking into the poem The School Boy, written by William Blake. Okay, so this is the poem that you will be learning in today's class. Before going into the poem, I just want you all to answer few questions. So you'll have just come from school. You had so many different ideas and notions about college. But what are the memories that remain within you when you think about school? Can you share it with me? Okay, just write maybe around 10 lines about the memories that you shared in your school. Though you are not yet entered into the college campus, you are still a child who has just stepped out of the school. Your idea about college would have been entirely different. Now you just penned out 10 points as to what are the memories that you share as a school child. Okay. So, speaking about the poet William Blake, he was born on 28th November 1757. He belongs to the era of the Romantic poets. Romantic poets, you will be thinking, what is this romantic poet? He is written about romance? No. Romantic age is one of the great age in the periods of literature where these poets mainly concentrate on nature. They have this relationship, a romantic relationship, not with the other human being, but rather it is with the nature. They appreciate the beauty of the nature. They are in love with the nature. So if you remember William Wordsworth, the poet of the poem Daffodils, you see he is also a romantic poet where if you see in the poem The Daffodils, the concentration is more on the beauty of the daffodils, how they sing and dance. So that is called as a person who loves nature writes such kind of poem. So William Blake is one among the romantic poets. Okay, a small brief up about William Blake. As I told you, he was born on 28th November in London, an English poet, painter, and a printmaker known for his expressiveness and creativity. Paintings and poetry are a part of Romantic movement. So I told you he belonged to the Romantic period. Notable works. So what are his notable works? His very famous works were the Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience, where he is penning down how small children are being condemned, okay, to do work rather than enjoying their innocent days. Okay, that is excuse me. He has a collection of poems in this Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, The Four Zoes, Jerusalem, Milton, etc. So he has written many works. Among them, the famous one is the Songs of Innocence. Moving on. So about the poem Schoolboy was written in 1789, and this poem, the Schoolboy, is taken from his collections of poem entitled Songs of Innocence. I told you he wrote Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. So this particular poem, the Schoolboy, is taken from the Songs of Innocence. These poems were later added with Blake's Songs of Experience to create the entire collection entitled The Songs of Innocence and of Experience, showing the two contrary states of human soul. So, in Songs of Innocence, he's written about how the innocent children are being burdened by work. Okay, and in Songs of Experience, he just has a contrary of what he is written in Songs of Innocence. So speaking about the poem The Schoolboy, the poet Blake, he is trying to put down his feet into the shoe of that of a schoolboy to witness the harsh realities of the school. Okay, how is this? William Blake is putting his feet into the shoe of the schoolboy. How can that be possible? You may be thinking, how can that be possible? Well, okay, if I tell I have put my shoe, sorry, I have put my feet into the shoe of somebody else, it is something different. It may not fit me. But here, the poet has done that purposely in order to exhibit the harsh reality of school, of the formal education. We all are having formal kind of education. So the poet here is against the formal way of education. So that is the main theme of the poem. The Schoolboy is a poem written in the pastoral tradition that focuses on the downsides of formal learning. As I already told you, the poem throws light on how formal education can destroy a childhood memory of a boy or a girl. It considers how going to school on a summer day drives all joy away. The boy in this poem is more interested in escaping his classroom than he is with anything his teacher is trying to teach. In the latter half, a child in school is compared to a bird in cage. So there will be a lot of uh, comparative images that are used. Okay, initially the poem begins with a very happy tone. Okay, the tone or the mood of the poem plays a very important role in each of the poem. What is the mood of the poem? Initially the mood of the poem or the mood of the schoolboy, he is very happy to be amongst the nature. But the very thought of going to school, meeting the teacher, all his joy is being taken away, it is driven away. So, as the poem goes on, the schoolboy is comparing himself to a bird in the cage, meaning something that was born to be free and in nature is instead trapped inside and made to be obedient. So, children, so you might see now, even the small children are subjected to online classes, which is a very new concept to them. No children can be sitting in front of a computer or a laptop or a tab or a phone for more than 10 or 20 minutes. Okay, to look into a class. If you ask to play a game or listen to something, or you just look into a YouTube, the child won't be tired. But something like this, the formal way of educating, the online classes are really a trouble to small children. You people are not small anymore, okay? You are growing up and you have to adjust to this kind of situation. But whereas you think from a very small child, the LKG, UKG, first standard children's point of view, they actually feel trapped. Okay, they are not ready to do it. They are against it. So this is uh, the poet William Blake. He's portraying the harsh realities of formal education through this poem. So I will read out the lines from the poem for you. The Schoolboy, written by William Blake. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his on, and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what a sweet company! But to go to school in a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. And then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, worn though with a dreary shower. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? O father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy, or bless the mellowing year, when the blast of winter appear? So these are the lines from the poem. So here the boy, this little school boy, as I told you, wants to enjoy his day amidst the nature. He wants to learn things from the nature. Okay, you just come from the school. School is a place where you have ambience, where you are taught, where you are nurtured, where you are growing. But now, as you have stepped into the college, it is going to be slightly different. Yes, you will definitely be taught, you will be nurtured, you will be growing, but here there will be a lot of difference. You are not in school anymore. You have, you have appointed to another level, okay, where you are a college going child. But those school days memories will never be faded. So when we were all young, okay, when you were children, when I was a child too, I actually wanted to grow up very fast. I want to step into college, I wanted to go to work, I wanted everything to happen very soon. Like when we are children, we have a lot of expectations to become adults very soon. But once we reach that stage of an adult, we will definitely want to go back to our childhood days and enjoy it. So, why we want to go back to our childhood days and enjoy is because there is a lot of things that we learned as children. But as you are growing up, you have to face the harsh realities of life. So here the poet William Blake, he is trying to tell all this, how a child has to be brought up during the childhood days, because childhood memories play a very important role as we grow up. If your childhood is not fruitful, if you did not enjoy your childhood days, you are going to have a very bad consequence as you grow up to become an adult. So, this is the message that the poet is trying to give through this poem, The Schoolboy. So, in my next class, I will be explaining to you all paragraph by paragraph, line by line of the poem, The Schoolboy. If you have any doubts, you can always text me and ask and clear your doubts. Okay, girls, with this, I end my today's class. Thank you. God bless you. Have a very great day ahead.